Hi, my name is Heidi Davies. The career that I've chosen to talk about for this assignment is that of a teacher. It's not one that is, I think, commonly thought of, I don't think, but it's one that I can really see myself going into and loving. An example organization is a district, school district. They're everywhere. Right now I work for Colton Joint Unified School District. We're about 60 miles or so inland from Los Angeles. It's a very low income district, lots of poverty in the area. I'm an instructional aide in a middle school, and I could see myself someday. I always wanted, whenever I thought about being a teacher, I've always thought elementary school, because I'm only 5'1", and most of my students now are taller than me. But I'm learning I actually have some pretty mad skills when working with kids this age. So as far as a career contact, just, the HR department. Here in California, we have a website called, oh my goodness, EdJoin. That's what it's called, EdJoin. I don't know if that's just a California thing or another state's thing, but most school districts will put all of their job postings like on that one website. So it's really easy to search for jobs. Very convenient. Anyways, the working environment is a classroom, obviously, teacher. Most of the time is spent on your feet, at least for the good teachers. I know the teacher I work with spends a lot of time behind his desk, but as soon as the principal walks in, he jumps out and pretends like he was just sitting for a second. But anyways, typical work hours, at least here, are about 7.5 hours a day. So that just depends on your school start time. So at the middle school where I work, the teachers are on 7:30 to 3 o'clock. My kids' elementary school is a late start school. They don't start until 9:15. And so the teachers there are 8:30 to 4 o'clock. But most teachers come early and or leave late in order to get the job done. It is a fairly family-friendly job. I'm off when my kids are off, or they're in the same district, so that's really convenient. And like next year, my son will be in middle school, and I'm going to be bringing him to work with me instead of putting him in the neighborhood school they will go to. I'm like one junior high down from there, so he'll be going there with me. So typical stressors. Well, where should I start? Just working with students, working with kids whose brains are not fully developed for 8 hours a day. Okay, well, 6 hours a day, however long they're in school. That's a pain in the butt. Working with parents can be a challenge sometimes when things, those mama bears or mama llamas. I'm a mama llama. I'm really chill until you screw over my kid, and then I'll kick you in the face. They can be a stressor. Bad administration, either just right there on campus with like the principal or the assistant principal, or just people in the district that don't understand what it's really like there to be in the trenches with the students. So those are some of the stressors. Typical benefits. Well, because of the all-powerful teachers union, a lot of districts offer really competitive benefits packages with medical, dental, vision. Some offer legal packages in case you need a lawyer, or just, retirements. Retirement's a big thing with teachers. So most teachers have a pretty good benefits package. Common tasks include planning and carrying out lessons. That's a big one. Disciplining students, encouraging them, loving them, working with parents. There's so many trainings and in-services teachers have to go to now. Like, I remember as a kid, like, if you got a sub, that was like, hallelujah, Now teachers every couple of weeks, I have a training for the new, the NGSS, Next Generation Science Standards, or I need to be Google Classroom trained, or how to write an IEP. And there's so much that teachers need to learn, writing strategies, math strategies, all this common core stuff. Anyways, so that's a big part of it. Planning and field trips, supervising recess, being a club advisor if you're with an older, with middle school or high schoolers. So lots of different balls to keep in the air when you're a teacher, that's for sure. Educational requirements, at least in California, here you can have a degree in almost anything. There's a 5th grade teacher at my kids' school who has a degree in chemical engineering. She worked in her field, was like, yeah, maybe this isn't for me, and decided to become a teacher, and it's brilliant. She's great. So I think a marriage and families degree would lead me into teaching a little bit better than chemical engineering. A little bit. Anyways, after getting a bachelor's, you have to pass the CBEST. That's the teacher test here in California, and then enroll in a credentialing program. A lot of them can be done in only a year, unless a lot of people, once you pass the CBEST, you can get a substitute credential, and so a lot of people will actually sub while they're getting their credential, and so that'll take 1.5 years, 2 years sometimes. So starting salary range, in California, is typically about just under $50,000. Average experience range can be about 70,000. If you have a master's, it can be more. I know some teachers here who are close to, they've been with the district like 20 years and have a master's and everything, and they're making close to 100,000. So, sometimes when teachers whine about how much they make, I'm like, oh, be quiet, get a master's and work for 20 years, you'll be fine. Anyways, sorry, I'm a little insensitive. So, miscellaneous career information. From my work in a middle school, yeah, it can be tough. Middle schoolers, 13 and 14-year-olds, their brains are just so immature, and they can be total punks and disrespectful. But when you get those one or two kids and you're able to touch their lives, it makes it all worth it. And with my special ed kids, there's hardly a one that doesn't have a story that'll just break your heart. This one, he's an absolute punk, but he's been in and out of the hospital with battles with leukemia, and you have to love him. You can't not love this kid, despite the fact that he's a total he's a chauvinistic punk. Anyways, another kid he lived down in Orange County in a really gang infested area, and he trusts no one. He lost his dad, he lost uncles and other family members to gang violence. And because of that, he doesn't trust anybody, because as soon as you trust somebody, as soon as you start to care about them, they die. And his mom moved him up here to get him away from the gangs, but he's had such a hard life. But when I have those moments when I can look into his eyes and be like, dude, Damien, I got your back, and I'm not going to give up on you. That stuff kids don't hear that. And another kid, his family's they're doing drugs or they're drug dealers, and he's in and out, and it breaks your heart. But to be able to sit there and look in your eyes and go, you want to know something, Damien? I know you don't hear this at home, but I love you. Or Freddie, I know your mom never tells you because she's never home, but I love you. And to see that those tears come in their eyes because they don't hear that, and you mean it, and you're not going to give up on them, and you always have their backs. All of those other job stressors and all of those other challenges, it doesn't matter anymore, because you're being there for a kid who hasn't had anyone ever be there for him before. So that's why I love what I do now, and that's why I'm looking at the career of teaching. There we go.